If you were born with the moon in Libra, or you know anyone that was, be it your partner, a friend, anyone that you've just met, and you just think, hey, how are they so nice and kind of sweet? This is a position of the moon that naturally has a tendency towards wanting wholeness and wanting closeness and fairness and creating some sort of harmony between themselves and others. So quite often it is the moon in Libra individual who likes and prefers, and if not needs, to be in some sort of partnership. And that partnership can be in a romantic setting, quite often is in a romantic setting, having some sort of best friends or best friends that are the loved ones, but having some sort of connection with another where the emotional self is largely dependent on someone else's presence and their input and kind of just seeking some sort of balance and self through other. There is a natural tendency for a moon in Libra individual to feel like both or either themselves or another person can do more. So whether it's bending over backwards to try and be a good friend, or doing things to be a good partner, or on the flip side of that, looking at what partners of any variety are doing that is not quite sort of like there'll be a clear awareness as to what's creating some sort of unfairness and imbalance, and this ability to discriminate or have a perceived imbalance is one that can create initially some sort of balance and harmony, but over time is something that builds up quite often resentment, or builds up a feeling of, I do this, why aren't my needs being met? And the kind of irony that I find in this, and something that tends to happen, is that because there's an inclination to understand what other people want, or to create some sort of connection with other where there is support and a natural offering of one's attention and time, because the perception lies in being able to see when either someone needs this or wants this, or even just the feeling of wanting to provide that for another without anyone asking anything, can mean that there is a natural feeling of, why aren't my needs being met? Why, if I can see what others need and I can see what makes others happy, why isn't that coming back in return? And although consciously there might be I don't do something for anything in return, there's very much, I've noticed, quite often, not always, but quite often a kind of subconscious awareness of this imbalance of my needs being met. However, not everybody, and usually Moon in Librans don't attract other Moon in Libra. However, because of this, there will be a natural inclination for the other party to not be as aware of your own needs as they are about other things. And this is probably a good thing. Otherwise, not only codependence is something that strongly can occur, but a lot of indecision and a lot of uncertainty around pretty much around anything when Libran energy is involved. So yes, speaking up what your actual needs are, and not to the point when you're frustrated and it comes out as resentful and frustrated, and you get all independent and almost experiencing more of the shadow side of some Aries energy there. I feel that if there is a vocalization after an understanding of what one actually needs and wants, there's less about trying to find the self through other. And although that's something that might take some time to get used to, because there's that natural wiring to be there for others and to support others, it is this change in perception towards one's own needs that is completely required for true balance to occur. So there's that kind of paradox there. Because there is this need for fairness as well, it's in reality finding true fairness this is less of an objective kind of thing, and this is just usually one's perceived sense of fairness. And again, if things aren't clear and on the table, it's very hard for balance and fairness to be found. So things need to be vocalized from both parties. People's needs need to be expressed and not expected to be psychically picked up from others or just through others' awareness. There tends to be, this wiring often tends to come from an earlier childhood or a prior life, or even our own family members who have been the supportive person, so played the supportive role. So whether we did ourselves or that was our mother, and quite often this is the case, is our mother was the one that was the mediator or the supporter, or the one that liked to beautify things and harmonize things. And there's this want to try and create that same beauty and harmony later in life for ourselves. And unfortunately, if we do try to do that in a very external sense without putting our needs or having awareness of our needs first, there will always be a natural imbalance with this position. And emotional stability relying on others is something that is always asking for a bit of frustration. It can make you a wonderful friend. It can make you a loving partner. It can make you someone that's very, very fixated on trying to find the most perfect or the most appropriate or fitting solution for things. And so this kind of detachment and ability to think can definitely come in handy when it comes to being in positions where fairness is required, where creating a bit more of a sophisticated outlook is also something that is appreciated. So finding places in life, be it one-on-one working with others or being in work environments where this is something that is appreciated, this can make you feel like your natural tendency for balance has an outlet. This can extend all the way to physical beautifying of circumstances, so interior decorating or working with textures or beauty and makeup, or anything where there's that expression of the awareness of balance and beauty is something that I think can make you feel like your own ability to see these things can be expressed and also valued as well. What else about Moon Libra? I mean, from my experience being Venus ruled, I have yet to meet anyone with this position who doesn't like things to be pretty and lovely, or have things that smell nice, or just something that shows that effort has been put into whatever it is. I think that beautifying is something that allows for some inner harmony and besides just being aware of your own needs and really understanding what those are. And that if you're just starting to do this process, this might seem very foreign because it's maybe very rare where you've really had some deep analysis of yourself requiring this. So in a physical, literal setting, beautifying your surroundings, having beautiful smells, having things that just remind you of anything that's symmetrical and even abstract. So artwork, these are all things that are very Libran. So out of a relationship context, if you can provide some physical beauty around you that won't cause you any sort of physical disgust or sense of disgust, that can help to alleviate a bit of anxiety if you're feeling that way. So for now, that's basically a summary of how I've experienced moon in Libra people. And obviously there's other chart factors that can somewhat counteract or shadow these impulses, but at the very base core level, harmony internally and externally through partners in our environment, these are all things that the moon and Libra person is not only capable of, but when applying these values, both or having them inward and then expressing them outward, is what creates a more beautiful world, to be honest. I mean, if we didn't have any moon and Libra people or just Libra energy around, there wouldn't be much sophistication and beauty and art and music and all those wonderful things. So thank you for adding more beauty to the world, and I hope you honor your own and your own worth and your own value, and yes, that you are a beautiful soul. So thank you. And next up, I'll be talking about moon in Scorpio, probably. See you soon.